The issue of underage gambling took center stage at a one-day workshop organized by the Enugu State Ministry of Children, Gender Affairs, and Social Development in collaboration with a non-governmental organization, MindAfrica Leadership Initiative. The event, held at the International Conference Center, Enugu, was graced by Governor Mbah of Enugu State, who was represented by the Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Dr. Kingsley Udeh. Speaking at the event, Governor Mbah emphasized the need to properly invest in the nation's children, stressing that their development was essential not just for national growth, but also for global competitiveness.
We meet today in solemn unity and shared resolve to confront a growing menace, underage gambling, which not only endangers our children, erodes that very foundation of our society and fuels criminal behaviors. It is no longer a private matter. It is a public crisis with alarming ripple effects. You see this manifesting a youth drug dependency, area boys extortion, school dropout, and its violence. The Enugu State government is responding with strength, clarity, and vision. Since November 2024, our state has adopted a zero-tolerance stance to underage gambling. Through the Gaming and Lottery Commission.
In a welcome remarks, the convener of the workshop and Commissioner for Children, Gender Affairs and Social Development, Mrs. Ngozi Eni, drew attention to the alarming rise in underage gambling across the state. She warned of the grave consequences if urgent action was not taken to curb the trend.
As I slowed down to observe, I couldn't help but think, that child looks familiar. Something about him reminded me of someone I might know, perhaps my child or even a relative. I parked and approached the shop. I asked the owner, "Do you not care how these children get the money to place bets?" His response was deeply troubling. Some of them do menial jobs. But we know end there. Some children lie, others steal, and many are drawn into the circle of secrecy and shame just to fuel a habit they do not even fully understand.
Prince Arinze Arum, Executive Secretary and CEO of the Enugu State Gaming and Lottery Commission, called for a comprehensive, multi-pronged strategy employing both kinetic and non-kinetic measures to effectively address the growing menace.
We should approach it in kinetic and non-kinetic, to have it in kinetic and approach. The kinetic approach is, tackling the effect of addiction in gambling. Then the non-kinetic, which is more of a preventive measure we're taking, is to make sure that you don't get to that level where it becomes a problem. And that is where our legislation is addressing. It talks about self-exclusion tools like putting a ceiling on the amount you spend in gaming, or the amount of time you also spend in a particular platform. Then the kinetic approach is that we're working with several mental health organizations, like Awareness on Gambling Risk Initiative, Gamble Alert, and some other mental health institutions. And I'm happy We are going to also be, collaborating with the Ministry of Children, Gender Affairs and Social Development to also reach out to, schools, our children. Our focus before now has been, we want to, take this fight from the top down.
Mrs. Oleri Ilebi, Executive Director of MindAfrica Leadership Initiative and a key partner in the initiative, represented by Mrs. Ezinwa Ajogu, spoke strongly against underage gambling. She highlighted its dangers and reaffirming MindAfrica's commitment to safeguarding young people. The event also featured a musical presentation by students from the College of the Immaculate Conception, CIC, Enugu. Other distinguished guests included the Commissioner for Youth and Sports, Mr. Lloyd Ekweremadu, the Commissioner for Culture and Tourism, Dame Ugochi Madeke, and representatives of the Nigerian Police Force and Nigerian Correctional Service. Others are key stakeholders from the education sector and over 1,000 students from public and private secondary schools across Enugu State. Chinwendo Ifeonwankwo, Aneke TV.